drinking culture does worry me because it is a problem in the area, and as I said, it's so easy to get hold of and quite cheap.
They've got to know what it does to you, and they've got to be sensible, but they've got to have role models.
As a parent, you have a huge effect on your child's attitude to alcohol. I know it's quite difficult and you may feel it's a bit young, but even as young as 8, it's time to maybe start having a chat with your children about alcohol.
I speak to my daughter about alcohol, and we're quite open and frank about that, and hopefully she won't hide that from me. I think we've got that good sort of relationship. So
I think the best approach when you're talking to your children about alcohol is to do it in small bite-sized chunks, very informally, little chats. I wouldn't go and give them a lecture, and I certainly wouldn't use scare stories.
Maybe when you're sitting around the dinner table, you might be having a glass of wine. Don't force the issue with them, but if you feel they're comfortable and ready to talk about it, just go for it when you feel comfortable.
If you see a story about alcohol on the news, on the television, in the newspapers, or maybe a friend has had a drink, then use that as a hook to then raise the subject and have a little chat about alcohol. If they raise the subject, take the opportunity. I would start off by finding out what they already know.
Alcohol makes you go weird, think you're the best. Because it makes you go on drugs. It makes you loopy.
She asked me actually, when me and my partner were going out a couple of weeks ago, she said to me, how many units of alcohol are you going to drink? And I said, pardon? She went, how many units of alcohol are you going to drink? She'd been watching the adverts on the telly where it says so many units. If you drink so many units every day, it can lead to this. So she is starting to pay a bit of interest in it.
Listen to them, and take their opinions seriously and let them know that you're taking them seriously. Then what you have is an opportunity to agree and reinforce that information that is right, but also, importantly, to correct any of their understandings that are actually based on myth.
I don't think badly of alcohol, but it's still to a point it can be bad. So it's the way you treat alcohol, it's the way you use it.
The reality is, as your children get older, they will be offered alcohol. And if you want them to act responsibly, you need to establish that they know how to deal with that. Your child might want to say no when they're offered alcohol, so talk to them about how they'll go about saying that.
A lot of my friends did drink, and there was a lot of peer pressure there, but I never really fell into that sort of trap. And my parents kind of told me that, you've got to be your own person and not just drink because all your friends are drinking.
If they are going to have a drink, just be sure that they understand what the impact of alcohol can be on their mind and on their body, so that they are going to be drinking safely.
I know it's difficult talking to your children about these issues, but you need to let them know the link between alcohol, antisocial behaviour and sexual activity. By taking alcohol, they're not always going to be in control of their circumstances and may get into a situation that they would later regret.
Explain to them how drinking in moderation can be okay, and also how drinking too much can put them at risk.
It's important for parents and young people to understand that alcohol's not a joke, that it can get you really ill.
People are they're not quite sure what to do. I mean, youth clubs are not cool enough, or going to the cinema is too dear. So alcohol is quite easy and cheap to get it, and so the pressure comes from boredom.
Many children actually drink because they're bored. So if you think this might be the case with your child, then just help them to find other activities to overcome the boredom that doesn't involve alcohol.